Hello everyone, welcome to Fableheim and an Age of Wonders 4 Dev Diary. I typically don't cover the Dev Diaries in their own special videos, however, this will be the final Dev Diary before the release of Empires and Ashes on November 7th, and this answers quite a few questions that I, and I'm sure others, had about the brand new Seal's Victory and the 4 new tomes joining the repertoire of the Godia. So, let's go into full screen and hop into it. Let's go into full screen and hop into it. Sorry. Alrighty. So, welcome to the developer diaries for both the new Seal's Victory and the new tomes that are coming in Empires and Ashes. There's a lot to cover, so this dev diary will be split into 2, starting with the Seal's Victory. This was the most popular victory condition in Age of Wonders 3, and it was my personal favorite, because, primarily, the Seal's Victory, you start thinking about victory, turn 1. Turn 1, you have to start planning, plotting, and scheming. So, it was very interactive. Let's see if they've managed to copy it. Hello everyone, I am Sam Min. I'm Fableheim, a designer for Age of Wonders 4. Today I will talk about the seals, what they are, how to achieve a seal's victory, and what challenges will stand in your way. The seals are ancient structures constructed by the Order of the Archons to protect a world from the outside, or to seal something within. Controlling the seals gives one great power over the realm, thus Godia are racing to take control of them. There were Archons in Age of Wonders 3. They were an undead independent faction, because they're all dead. This is what the seals look like on the world. Aren't they beautiful? They have gotten a tremendous upgrade since Age of Wonders 3. People who have played Age of Wonders 3 might be familiar with how the Seal's Victory worked there. There are a limited number of seals spread around the world. Each seal is defended by an army of strong defenders. Once they are defeated, you will gain 1 seal point per turn as long as your units stand on top of the seal. Capturing and holding multiple seals will provide you with more points per turn. Once a specific amount of points have been reached, you achieve your victory. So it is going to be the exact same as in Age of Wonders 3, where you have to have a unit literally on the hex of the seal. I wasn't sure if it would work that way, or if it works like Wonders, where you annex the province and, it would start ticking, but no, you have to stand on top of it. Another question I have, I don't think it's answered in this, but the seals are obviously in a province, right? If you annex a province with the seal, do you get any benefits? Does it provide knowledge, or magic, or something? I don't know. This is just an example of the army guarding it. It's a little spooky, but it does have some low-tier units. This is the brand new Progenitor. But the capturing of seals will not go uncontested. There are 2 sources of opposition that will prevent you from obtaining a seal's victory. First and foremost are the other empires. Capturing a seal will provide every other empire with grievances as they become aware of your ambitions of controlling the seals within the realm. As you approach the seals of victory, they will be forced to stop you. Interesting. I noticed this console command here. This is strategic AI. Okay, we have a slight example. I believe this is a campaign map. But 105 is the amount of seals that's required here. They only have 68 knowledge. Suspicious, but okay. I can't notice anything else on this map. The rest of it looks pretty familiar. The other source of opposition are the defenders of the seal, for they were left heavily guarded. These defenders will awaken and sporadically attack any trespassers. The frequency and intensity of these attacks increases your capture more seals and collect more points. These seal defenders come in a lot of variety, each providing a different challenge to overcome. They could be angels, demons, elementals, or dozens of others. Each attack has its own theme which determines what kind of units appear and what combat effect will be present within the fight. These combat effects can vary from providing some extra challenge to forcing you to approach the battle in a completely different way. This is an example of the Elemental Bane. This isn't too bad. It's only almost 2 stacks, and there are a lot of tier 1s. The Elemental Bane enchantment is every 2 turns, 3 random units have a base 90% chance of being inflicted with Ghost Fire. That's a new debuff. Base 90% chance of being inflicted with Electrified, and base 70% chance of being inflicted with Frozen. So in Age of Wonders 3, the seals were always attacked, or the attempt to defend it was always from other elementals, and there was a constant effect on the seal tile itself that even if you controlled the seal, you would still be hit by it. So this is a slight increase, which is to be expected. Okay. While you are channeling the powers of the seals, various events can happen. Your surveyors can uncover the secrets of the original creators, accidentally wake up a progenitor golem, or the seal can suddenly become unstable. With the massive power of the seal running rampant, how will you choose to resolve this imminent crisis? This is an example of an unstable seal event. Reports accumulate of shifts in reality near your seal. The seal has become unstable. A barely visible force pulsates outwards from the seal, changing the surroundings around it. Plants wilt at an alarming rate, rocks change their shapes into indescribable figures, cracks appear on the ground. With every pulse, the changes become more deadly. If you do not stabilize the seal, it will be a matter of time until the seal releases deadly energy. They have to start to use mana to seal it, which makes sense. You can build a containment around, which I'm assuming will block production in the nearest city. You can allow the event to happen and study it. Knowledge. Which will probably spawn an army. Control the inner mechanisms of the seal, repair the structure. This is an 8 materium requirement, and you gain some knowledge. A materium boon. Okay. If you fail, you take too much time and the seal explodes, which reduces your materium, and a province near the seal is hit by the Abyssal Flame spell. Ooh, a whole province gets nuked. Or there's an astral event. I'm assuming this is also 8 astral, which redirects the energy. Okay. Not all worlds have seals on them. You will find some on one of the new story realms. Don't care. And you can choose to add them to your own games. Now this I care about. Their presence is added in the form of a realm trait. How many seals are added in a world is dependent on the amount of players in that game. There will always be more seals than players, ensuring that rulers must fight over multiple seals to gain an edge over their rivals. The amount of points you need is dependent upon the amount of seals in the world and can be further changed by choosing to play with either the active or the dormant realm traits. So this is different. In Age of Wonders 3, you could pick how many tickets you wanted the requirement to be to win. I believe it was in intervals of 50. And here, we can see there are 2 realm traits, the active and dormant. I don't quite know what that means. Would you need more active seals, I guess? The active seals would mean you need more tickets because, they're active and going crazy, or would it be dormant? I honestly have no idea. But the amount of seals is determined by the amount of players. Okay. That might need some tweaking. They do have I believe it's a closed test for people who had played the game a long time. So hopefully you're able to get some good feedback about that. Now that you know what the seal's victory is and how you can achieve one, let us explore the new ways that you can achieve this victory condition with the tomes that will come with the empires and ashes. Alright. I do kind of wish you could advanced settings tweak the amount of tickets exactly, but we'll just have to play around with it and see how it goes. It would also probably be very easy for them to change it if it turns out that there's too many or not enough, or how it is. Also, there are new traits that were added besides these. The one they showed off in their live stream a week ago or so was called Chaotic Influence, where whenever a ruler meets another ruler, every turn their relationship will diminish by 10. And I don't think it has a cap, so it will eventually just lead to everyone declaring war on everyone. Alrighty, it's time for tomes. Hello again, Gaudier, and/or mortal visitor. Thomas Schwitten, designer at Triumph, has returned to regale you with tomes of lore, about tomes of which we made more. For Empires and Ashes, we wanted to inject some new tome combinations into the game. Thus, each tome for Empires and Ashes is designed as a twist on the Materium affinity by combining it with another. Each supports a playstyle that may combine uniquely with particular cultures or base game tomes, such as the Tome of Alchemy being an excellent source of weekend for the dark culture, which may benefit greatly. Empires and Ashes comes with 4 new tomes, 5 if we count the Reaver culture. Yes, the Reaver culture's baseline abilities. The Tome of Alchemy fuses the inventiveness of Materium with the afflictions and support of nature, while the Tome of the Construct fuses Materium's constructs with the Order's expertise in formation fighting and so on. This is the Tome of Alchemy. It is a 1 Materium, 1 Nature, Tier 1 tome. You can start with it, as they did in their livestream. The Tome of Alchemy specializes in negative status effects, both applying them to the enemy and removing them from your forces. The Afflictor provides an early ranged unit able to spread afflicting miasma and deal both blight and physical damage with their repeating crossbows, while Fumigation grants you a useful siege project uniquely early, letting you damage and poison the defenders before rushing into relatively undeveloped settlements. So the Afflictor would probably be really good for the Industrious culture, to be honest. So here is the Afflicting Miasma. Units passing through or ending their turn on this hex will be inflicted with a weakened, and units on this hex have afflicted. Afflicted is a brand new status effect, where when this unit is damaged, they have a base 90% chance of becoming afflicted with a negative status effect based on the damage type they received. And they, one of the toms, mentioned that this gets really out of hand with the Mystic culture and their Starblades, because from physical damage, they can bleed. From fire, they can burn. From spirit, they can become condemned. From lightning, they can become electrified. From blight, they can become poisoned. And from frost damage, they can become slowed. Remember, slowed units do not retaliate. You thought you'd escape it. Never. I'll keep reminding you until it gets nerfed. So, yeah, with Starblades, this could be absolutely obscene. But they do have to be standing within the miasma. I'm not sure if there's another way to inflict afflicted. It's possible that the Afflictor themselves can do it. They have a one shot, I believe, with the crossbow, and then they have like a grenade launcher thing. So that'll be interesting to see. The Tome of the Construct. This is a tier 2 Order and Materium tome. The Tome of the Construct fuses the material superiority and defense of Materium with the discipline and formation fighting of Order. It grants access to the Bronze Golem, letting you construct the powerful Tier 3 polearm constructs directly without the need to fully rank up your Copper Golems first. These are new. These weren't in the game, so I guess they just told us that Copper Golems can evolve into these, which is pretty nifty. They have a repeating melee strike, 16 repeating, and a weakening cleave. I'm assuming that's a 3 attack in front of them for 20. Not bad. Not bad. As they are a golem, they do have lightning weakness, 5-3. Pretty spicy. But more uniquely, this tome holds 2 powerful buff spells in the form of cascading commands. Now this is a new mechanic. So it's a buff spell. Target friendly construct or linked mines unit gains watchful for 1 turn, enters defense mode. This effect then applies to adjacent friendly constructs and is repeated. So it says target friendly construct or linked mind units, but then it applies to adjacent constructs. Would it also apply to adjacent linked mind units? Linked mind is a new... I believe someone said that it was a racial transformation, and I believe they are correct. The only thing we've seen about this is actually in a brief video done by Potato McWhiskey on the Age of Wonders 4 official YouTube. And it showed all of the culture units that were like standing next to each other. They had like this golden line that quote unquote linked them. And I think that was linked mines. Cascading Command Defend lets you grant additional retaliations, unless they're slowed, to your units while allowing even those that have already acted to enter defense mode. This effect is notably exclusive to constructs or racial units with the Linked Mines transformation, but cascades through the entire formation to affect any number of viable friendly units. Meanwhile, Cascading Command Reposition instead lets your constructs close the distance rapidly by granting them hastened and strengthened to strike first. That might be the Linked Mine thing. Linked Mines provides a new minor transformation, letting you get the most out of your racial units when mixing in with your new construct legions. It also gives a powerful safeguard against flanking, granting any affected unit hyper-awareness when adjacent to another linked mine or construct unit. What? Okay. Yeah. That seems fair and balanced. The Tome of the Dreadnought. One everyone is excited to see return. It is a Tier 3 Materium and Chaos Tome. The Dreadnoughts of the Third Age of Wonders may have decayed, but some of their mightiest weapons of war remain documented in the Tome of the Dreadnought. This tome focuses on area of effect firepower and siege warfare. The Great Bombard provides a powerful siege project, while tuning kits grant your support units the ability to overcharge the firepower of your constructs. If that all is not enough, the destabilized mana core has been refined since its old days, able to use with more precision than before. So Overcharge was a thing in Age of Wonders 3. But wasn't it like just a debuff chance, I think? This could be good. The Destabilized Mana Core is a damage/debuff spell. Units in a 2-hex radius are marked. After one turn, the Mana Core explodes, inflicting 24 physical and lightning damage. Wow. With a 60% chance of receiving Disrupted. This probably will disable constructs. But just disable everybody, who knows. This is very good for the Reaver culture because they deal bonus damage to marked units. The Ironclad. Wait, you're telling me this comes from a Tier 3 unit? Actually, that makes sense it comes from a Tier 3 tome. The Return of the Ironclad, the Giga-Chan. This is a Tier 4 mythic unit that has the direct fire and the barrage. It also has different types of shots, which I believe is new. And noticeably, it does not have a ram attack. In Age of Wonders 3, it has a melee attack where it just rams you. So I wonder if this can be tied up or if it can just shoot regardless. The Ironclad is a powerful Tier 4 mythic unit able to lay down a horrific amount of ranged firepower through either its direct fire shot when maneuvers are necessary or through its powerful but inaccurate tri-shot barrage when in position. Okay. Now, noticeably, this is a problem with a weakness of all mythic units. It is labeled a mythic unit, meaning that none of the enchantments are going to work on it. Will that be a bane? We'll find out. So barrage, 50% accuracy. 8/8, repeating, deals damage in a 1-hex radius, demolisher. So this is a repeating 4-range 1-hex attack. Alright. Ignores line of sight penalties, cannot be used when enemy is within zone of control, 1-turn cooldown. Spicy. When using the barrage, beware of friendly fire, as it has a tendency to scatter wildly, or just be Skaven. I know, Skaven don't care about friendly fire. Both shot types can be affected by the special ammunition the Ironclad carries with it. Each ammunition type can only be loaded once per battle as a free action and enhances the Ironclad firepower for that turn only. So choose wisely when to spend these powerful shells. So it's... each ammunition type can only be loaded once per battle. So you have 3 special shots that you can use once per battle. I see. So the incendiary shot is what they're showing. It is a free action buff. The next attack inflicts +5 fire damage. Random hexes in the target area gain on fire. I see. So shrapnel is probably bonus physical damage or like bleeding, and sundering is probably ignore armor or even sunder defense. And last but not least, the Tome of Severing, a Materium and Shadow Tome at Tier 4. The Tome of Severing is a powerful anti-magic tome wielding the power to disrupt enchantments on your foes. What? As well as banishing their summons or projecting the magic warding of spelljammers outside of your domain through Spell Ward. Okay. That's amazing. So, some may remember, in Age of Wonders 3, enchantments were... they existed, but they were kind of spells that you had to channel. So, the upkeep was still there, but there was a... what was it called? It wasn't counterspell. Disjunction. Enemies could disjunct spells that you were channeling. Which, of course, if you're playing on the harder difficulties, they just greater disjunct with a greater chance. and you would just lose these spells that you were, the enchantments. This is giving me flashbacks to just being constantly disjuncted by every freaking AI in the game. Interesting. So, disrupted. Oh, this is the debuff. This unit's unit enchantments are temporarily disabled. Fair and balanced. Astral Severance. Target magic origin unit has a 60% chance of being killed. Base 60%. If unsuccessful, inflicts disrupted and decaying. Yeah, it's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Those pesky powerhouse magic origin units will bother you no longer. If your opponent has units able to resurrect through resurgence or undead sorcery, perhaps you are more interested in a preemptive solution. Final banishment. All non-hero corpses on the map are destroyed. For each corpse destroyed, friendly units gain +1 bolstered resistance and heal 5 temp hit points. Alrighty. Alright. It's time to make only Necromancer opponents. This grants a powerful heal option in larger battles and a useful way to be rid of troublesome materials for enemy Necromancers. And here is the Severing Golem. Tier 5. Wow. 130 for 5. Weakening bolts. So it only has one attack, which is a repeating frost damage. Dispelling Field, Magical Disruption. Alrighty. Lastly, a glimpse at the Severing Golem, a rather unique mythic construct fulfilling a hybrid role between support and battle mage. Dispelling Field is a free action. Okay. Each friendly unit within 2 hexes has one of their negative status effects dispelled. This unit gains a stack of Strengthen for 3 turns for each unit that had a status dispelled this way. Wow, a 2-hex dispel? That's gonna be nuts. The Severing Golem's Dispelling Field provides a useful anchor in large endgame battles, but the real power, this is already insane, lies in its Magical Disruption. A full action, up to 3 random enemies sustain 30 frost damage and have a base 90% chance of becoming disrupted. Okay. Is this... I can't help but notice that this always hits and has 0 range. Does this mean it is just the whole field? The whole field is your target for this. Alright. Oh my, look at the Ironclad, it's so big. That's what she said. The fiery carnage above will wrap us up for now. We have not shown you everything that the tomes contain, and all of these are only glimpses at the powers contained within. We hope you will enjoy discovering new combinations and making fresh stories with these new tomes. Join us in 2 weeks for a look at the new form trait system and the item forge. Next Dev Diary will be published on November 9th, while Empires and Ashes expansion will be released on November 7th on all platforms. Also, they have a TikTok, but I'm not a fan of TikTok, so whatever. Go there if you like it. Don't if you don't. So that was the 24th Dev Diary, and it seems like the new tomes are going to be insane. Like, just bonkers. They did notice, or they did note, that these don't really have a synergy between each other. They're meant to, like, supplement the variety of playstyles, unlike in Dragon's Dawn, where the 2 new tomes from Dragon's Dawn both, like, complemented each other. Well, I mean, I think I'm obliged to pick up all the new stuff in my first playthrough, but, yeah, I think they're all pretty good. I'm very curious about the Tome of the Construct. This will be very interesting, especially if you combine it with a lot of the stuff that Shadow can do with magic origin units. But you may have noticed, or well, they said that they'll show you about the new form trait system. The item forge is pretty straightforward. It's a lot better from the previous system, but basically you use the Severing Essence, which is the new resource. They showed it briefly way up here, to construct things, and if you have magic materials, you can add more affixes on it. I think it'll be a lot of fun to play around with. It's these things here. but I can show you the new form traits. That's a bit of a sneak peek. So welcome to, this is the live stream from about a week ago. You can see Tom and Tom on screen, and they are making an avian race. Now, the new system is a lot better. In the current version of the game, which, by the way, the Jaina playthrough will be coming to an end very soon. Probably tomorrow or the day after, we'll see. But there's one body trait and one mind trait, and that's it. Now, they've made it so it's a point system, and there are 5 points available. So as they just did there, you can pick up just 5 different one traits, or you can mix and match. It's 1, 2, and 3. And they tried to scale it based on the power of the trait. You may notice that you can combine defensive tactics and overwhelming tactics, and then have one trait left over if you want. That's all very well and good. Additionally, right here, they're talking about the 3 traits. All of the mounts are down here, because the mounts tend to be pretty good, and they did talk about nerfing the spiders again, because they're insane. A new mount trait is the Dire Bear, so is it time for Kislev to show up? It could be. The bears are amazing, by the way. They look so good. But all of the other 3 traits are all new. So Resilient is actually the combination of 2 traits that were already in the game. The one that reduces the debuff timer by 1 to a minimum of 1, and the resistance. Poisonous has been buffed tremendously. It now is a 30% or a 90% chance baseline to be poisoned. They grant immunity to poison to all poisonous units. And I think that was the main change. Hideous Stench is amazing. It is a return from Age of Wonders 3. You may recall the goblins had Hideous Stench, which made them hilarious. But only one of the goblins did. It was like the baby goblin. I'm getting distracted. Right now they're talking about adaptation, because to Arctic, desert, and swamp adaptations, they have added a terraforming ability. So Arctic can freeze the land, desert can scorch the land, and swamp can drown the land. Which, I believe it's a single province ability, but you can use this, of course, to change provinces to your preferred habitat. So you don't have to go down specific trees or whatever to change it yourself. They're laughing because they're like, we named things properly, right? It's always good fun to watch these two talk about what they've changed or what they haven't changed. I'm hoping they'll go back to the 3 so I can talk about it. Okay, here we go. So Hideous Stench is a -2. Thank you. Adjacent enemies without this trait suffer -2 resistance and -2 status resistance. It is unbelievably good. This is so good. It's amazing. It's not very lore-friendly for a lot of the cultures that I would play, but it is very amazing if you want to min-max. Now, this other trait is athletics. Units normally have 32 movement speed, so this is foot units, infantry, whatever. However, this makes it so your slowest unit in your culture now has 40 movement on the world map and in combat. Tom mentioned that in average, this means you have 2 more tiles of movement on the world map and 1 more tile of movement in combat. But I would like to introduce to you the greatest Imperium talent in the game, Advanced Logistics. Which makes it so if you are walking on neutral or friendly roads, instead of 5, it costs 3. 40 divided by 3 is 13. If you have a well-roaded empire, your slowest movement unit can move 13 tiles of range. Truly fair and balanced. It's amazing. So anyway, this is the new trait system. I think it is so much better. It also opens up a lot more potential for mods. There were already a few mods that like redid the traits and added more of them. This just opens the door wide open, and people can go absolutely crazy with it. Big fan. I am very interested in playing around with this to see what I can create. Of course, my first reaction was defensive and overwhelm tactics on a feudal culture. Magnifique. But of course, I'll be playing Reavers for the very first run of Empires and Ashes, and there will be a poll very soon. I'll make it when the Last Jane episode goes up. So thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I will leave a link in the description to this stream where you can watch Tom and Tom have some fun and explore more, an early build of the DLC. And I will also leave a link to the dev diary so you can explore it at your own leisure if you would like. So thank you all for watching. Thank you to the patrons and the channel members who support the channel. I greatly appreciate you. If you would like to stay updated on the Happy Channel, feel free to join the Discord description down below. And I will see you in Empires and Ashes. Bye.